Let's talk about vitamin B3, also known as niacin, because this is one of the most direct and well-understood pathways for supporting NAD+ production in your body. When you eat foods rich in niacin, your cells can convert it into NAD+ through a series of enzymatic steps that have been mapped out in considerable detail by biochemists. This isn't speculation. This is established metabolic science. The best food sources of niacin include chicken breast, tuna, turkey, salmon, beef liver, peanuts, mushrooms, and green peas. These aren't exotic superfoods. They're ordinary, accessible foods that have been part of human diets for generations. What's important to understand is that when niacin comes from whole foods, it's absorbed and metabolized gradually. Your body processes it through natural regulatory pathways that have evolved over millions of years. This is fundamentally different from taking a high-dose niacin supplement where you might get several hundred milligrams all at once. Now, here's where we need to be careful with our enthusiasm. Just because niacin is a precursor to NAD+ doesn't mean more is always better. There's a form of niacin supplementation called nicotinic acid that can cause something called flushing, an uncomfortable sensation of heat and redness in the skin. More concerning, very high doses of niacin supplements have been associated with liver toxicity in some cases. This is why the food-based approach is so appealing. You're simply not going to get toxic levels of niacin from eating chicken and mushrooms. The typical American diet provides somewhere between 15 and 30 milligrams of niacin per day, which meets the recommended dietary allowance for most adults. What's interesting is that many older adults, particularly those with reduced appetites or limited dietary variety, may be getting less than this. And we know that NAD+ levels decline with age naturally, even in healthy individuals. So there's a reasonable hypothesis here. Could insufficient dietary niacin contribute to or accelerate age-related NAD+ decline? We don't have definitive proof, but it's a question worth considering. One of the advantages of focusing on niacin-rich foods is that these foods also provide other nutrients that support brain health. Chicken and fish provide high-quality protein and omega-3 fatty acids. Mushrooms contain antioxidants and other B vitamins. Peanuts offer healthy fats and vitamin E. So when you're eating for NAD+ support, you're not just addressing one biochemical pathway. You're nourishing the brain in multiple complementary ways. But let's be realistic about expectations. Eating more niacin-rich foods isn't going to reverse Alzheimer's disease in someone who already has significant neurodegeneration. What it might do is support healthier baseline NAD+ levels over years and decades, potentially contributing to better brain resilience as we age. This is about long-term prevention and metabolic support, not acute treatment. The research on NAD+ precursors like niacin is still evolving. What we know is that NAD+ is essential for brain energy metabolism, and niacin is one of the primary dietary sources your body uses to make it. Whether optimizing niacin intake through food can meaningfully impact Alzheimer's risk or progression remains an open question. But given that these are nutritious foods with minimal risks when consumed as part of a balanced diet, there's little downside to ensuring adequate intake, especially for older adults who may be at risk for deficiency.